This question brings everybody's favourite topic when it comes to maths into play, trigonometry. Now in the calculator paper, there's several key formula you have to be able to know and be able to use and recall instantaneously. One is the sine rule, so that's the ratio of the sides and the angles opposite each other being equal. And the other one is the cosine rule. Now there's two variations in that, one for getting the angle of a triangle and the other one for calculating the side of a triangle. We have to know both of these rules and know when to apply them and when to use them. Now, good thing about it is this all appears in the formula, so if you do completely forget them on the day of the exam, don't worry, they are right there if you need them. Now this question here gives us a triangle here, XYZ, with all the sides shown. And we want to calculate the size of the smallest angle in this triangle. Now a question like this, where you're given all of the sides but no angles, and it wants you to get an angle, this one you should instantly think of the cosine rule, but for an angle. So the cosine rule for an angle. That's what we instantly want to start thinking about. Now when that's the case, we know that that's given by cos A is equal to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. Now the a, the b and the c all represent sides in the triangle. The cos A is the angle we're after, the little a is the side opposite it, and the b and the c are given by the other two sides. So we're after an angle in this one, and this one asks specifically for the smallest angle in a triangle. Well, you can instantly identify which of the angles it wants. The smallest angle in a triangle will always be opposite the smallest side in a triangle. So if we look at all of these, there's my smallest side, which means that that's the angle I want there, the angle at Z. So when you get a question like this, first key thing is identify the angle, then you have to identify the A, the B and the C. Well, A is the angle we want, so that's going to be the angle at Z. Little a is the angle, the line opposite that angle, so there's my little a, and B and C are the other two lines, so the two lines that enclose and make the angle that we're focused on. Now, with B and C, it doesn't matter which way around we label them. So I could label the 7.2 as B, the 8.5 as C, or vice versa. It won't matter in the long run. Once I've got all the information labelled, I could put it in the formula. So what I know then is I know that cos A is equal to B squared plus C squared, so 7.2 squared plus 8.5 squared. Take away A squared, which is take away 6.3 squared. It's all over 2bc, so it's all over 2 times 7.2 times the 8.5. Once I've got that, I can then plug it into the calculator. So plugging all this into the calculator, what we end up getting is that's equal to 211 over 306. If you wanted that as a decimal, you would end up getting 0.689. And then it would continue on from there. So that's us now got the cosine of A, but we want the angle A. So in order to get the angle A, what we have to do is take cosine minus 1 of it, so the inverse cosine of the 211 over 306. If we take that, plug it all in the calculator, what we end up getting is 46.406, and then it continues on. So at that point, I'm ready to communicate my answer. And what I then say is therefore the smallest angle equals this number here, equals 46, and I'm going to go to one decimal place, 0.4 degrees. So we've used the rule and then we've communicated our answer. So we've followed the steps for this one. We've contemplated the question, we've interpreted the information, we've solved it, and we've then communicated the answer. When it comes to triangles like this, we have to remember all three of the key rules that we need to work with. So our cosine rule for sides, cosine rule for angles, and our sine rule, looking at the ratios of sides and angles opposite each other. We need to make sure that we're on the lookout as well for what information we've got and what we're looking to calculate based on that information. In this case, we wanted an angle, we were given all the sides, cosine rule for an angle is the one to go to.